You're about to see the craziest theory of K-pop Demon Hunters. In a story about teenage girls beating the crap out of demons while putting on makeup, we're introduced to Healer Han, a questionable personality who seems to be hiding something. And that's the fact that he is actually Guimma. The first point is so obvious once you notice it. Healer Han is not just some friendly neighborhood doctor. The man is supernatural, full stop. Remember when the huntress shows up at his clinic? He doesn't check her pulse. He doesn't ask a single question. He doesn't even pretend to act like a real doctor. He just gives her one long, unsettling stare, and boom, he knows exactly what's wrong. No tools, no tests, no medical logic. That's not healthcare. That's straight-up otherworldly intuition. And get this, he seems to have some sort of familiarity with each member of Huntress. He knows that Rumi has a lot of walls up and is hiding something. And he knows that Zoe is a big people-pleaser. He is unable to get a good read on Mira because when he stares into her eyes, she rebuffs him, and he squeals and moves back. Now, you might look at that as the movie being funny, but let's think about this for a second. Throughout the movie, Zoe is surprisingly compassionate to the Saja boys. Even when she knows that they are actual demons, she dances to Soda Pop multiple times. She makes excuses for the Saja boys, claiming maybe these are nice demons.
In fact, it almost seems like they're nice demons.
Demons are never nice.
She's easily rattled mentally. Like that time when Rumi tells her that she doesn't like the lyrics of the Takedown song, Zoe starts panicking and can't contain her emotions. I say all this to say Zoe is not so mentally strong. She's easily swayed and constantly needs her group to help her stay grounded. Rumi, on the other hand, she's carrying a deep, dark secret. She has a lot of shame, and she considers herself a mistake. Her mind is already fractured. That's why she nearly loses her mind when she finds out she's losing her voice. She literally can't take it anymore, which makes her mind an easy read for a demon. But Mira, she's the most sure-footed person on the team. She holds on to her convictions, and she's not easily swayed. Yes, she loves her friends and wants to do what's right, but you don't see her questioning or doubting herself as often as the rest of the team. That's why Healer Han couldn't read her mind. That's why she was able to rebuff him mentally, because she's mentally stronger than the rest. This was our first clue that Han is more than what we're seeing. The next part that solidifies this point was the way he wanted to treat Rumi. Han was never concerned about doing any test or checking her throat out to see what was wrong. He wanted to talk, to stall, and to waste time. And when the girls finally pressed him into giving them the medicine, what did he give Rumi?
Okay, Tonics, let's do this. What?
That's right, grape juice. Let that sink in. You visit a doctor because you're having medical issues, and he gives you grape juice and calls it medicine. On the surface, this might seem like another gimmick, but think about it closely. Who's the one person who will benefit from Rumi not getting her voice back? That's right, Guimma. What better way for Guimma to stop that than by giving Rumi fake medicine so she never recovers? And that's not even the craziest part. When the huntress walks into Healer Han's clinic, there's a tiny moment most people completely overlook. Before Han even shows up, Rumi glances at the wall and freezes. Because the photos on the wall seem strange. Look closely and you'll know that it's the Saja boys, not fan pics, not decorations, but actual photos. One of the photos shows him with baby Saja, and another has him standing shoulder to shoulder with Romance, Abby, Mystery. One of them even shows Han standing with them like old friends. And here's the part that flips everything upside down. In those photos, the Saja boys still have their natural black hair. And since we know that demons used to be humans, it means these pictures must have been taken before they turned to demons. So how was Han aware of them before their transformation? Now ask yourself, how does a normal doctor have a friendly photo with the Saja boys before they became famous? What if, in the same way, Jinu was recruited to be a demon because of his voice, the other Sia boys were recruited as well? Suddenly, that clinic doesn't look like a clinic anymore. It looks like a cover, a recruiting ground. But even if you don't believe any of that, you have to admit that there is some kind of connection between the Saja boys and Healer Han. The Saja boys hold their concert right outside his premises, and in the middle of the Soda Pop performance, Jinu takes out a Healer Han drink and actively drinks it for the whole world to see. Now we can go with the movie and agree that he took the drink from Rumi's box when she wasn't looking, just to spite her. But why drink it for the whole world to see? Could it be some kind of product placement? Because if the Saja boys are drinking Dr. Hans's medicine, that must mean they're willing to advertise his products. And why in the world would a band of demons be advertising the product of a random doctor if they did not know him personally? Are you starting to connect the dots? What really seals the deal happens right after the Soda Pop performance. The Saja boys go instantly viral. Everyone's copying the dance, the choreography, the whole vibe. But then, the movie drops a crazy detail. Healer Han is doing the dance too, perfectly, effortlessly, like he's rehearsed it 100 times. Now pause and think. The performance just happened. Not yesterday, not last week. Like, maybe an hour ago. So, how is Han hitting every move with zero practice? How does a normal doctor master a dance that the entire world is just now discovering? There's only one explanation that doesn't break logic. Han already knew the song, already knew the choreography, already knew what the Saja boys would perform before they even stepped on stage. And here's the part nobody wants to admit. Why is a grown man, a doctor, filming himself doing an idol trend from a group he's supposedly not connected to? Because it's not a trend for him. It's a signal, a slip. Proof that Healer Han isn't an outsider at all. He's way too familiar, way too comfortable, and way too synchronized with the Saja boys. Exactly the kind of thing you'd expect from the real villain. Smiling right in front of us. And here's the part nobody talks about. The clue that exists outside the story, but still exposes everything. The casting. Healer Han's voice actor is Daniel Dae Kim. Now at first you might shrug and think, okay, cool casting choice. But no, that's the clue. Because Daniel Dae Kim is not the guy studios hire for harmless background characters. This man has a resume built on villain energy. Firelord Ozai in the live-action Avatar. Mr. Negative in Spider-Man. The antagonist in Hellboy. Even in Lost, he carried that quiet, dangerous intensity. He doesn't play random clinic doctors with 2 lines and a polite smile. So why would he suddenly show up in K-Pop Demon Hunters? For a tiny role, with barely any screen time. Unless that tiny role isn't tiny at all, it doesn't add up. Unless Han is being set up for something big. The more realistic answer? Healer Han isn't just returning in the next part. He's coming back as the villain we were supposed to fear all along. This is why I believe Healer Han is not just any regular person. He is Guimma. Think about it. Han is already suspicious. He gives Rumi fake medicine. He has strange photos with the Saja boys. He knows their songs. And the biggest proof of it all, he can supernaturally read people. Who's the one person we know that can read minds and suggest thoughts to people in the movie? That's right, Guimma. My theory is this. Guimma has been posing as Dr. Han for a long time and using this phony doctor's practice as a recruiting ground to turn people into demons. I mean, what better way to recruit people than when they come to you with their problems? Like, oh, you have meningitis? Do you know that being a demon can help you cure that? It's the perfect setup. It will explain how he recruited the Saja boys and why they look so different in the photos. It would explain why Guimma is so familiar with pop culture. Guimma is an ancient demon that has been living in the underworld, yet he seems to know a lot about what's going on up in the human world. He knows what a boy band is. He knows the lyrics of Soda Pop. Technology isn't strange to him when he's on stage, because part of him has always been on the stage. There's no other way to see it. Dr. Han is Guimma. So what do you think about this theory? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because if this is true, then this reveal can change the story of K-Pop Demon Hunters in really interesting ways. But let us know what you think about it.